Who are these modern artists? Plastic gestures, movements and emotional expressiveness of the body are the most important for them. The unifying and transforming power of dance in modern performances of Ukrainian and foreign choreographers. Today in the program Pro Art. Modern dance is generally so multinational. I would say it is very globalized. There are so many collaboration projects between different dancers from different countries. Each country showed its folk dances. And it's very interesting when you offer them your folklore.
So in terms of choreographical decisions, we made them together.
We really hope that it will work out. I like to participate in co-production and help in organizing events like this. We hear SOS, SOS. So someone is dying and calling for help. How could it be otherwise? Ukrainian dance duet Buchok Art Family examined the possibilities of this signal in a broader sense. At some points, this is indeed an SOS. These are the very signals for help from those characters in whom we will be reincarnated. There is a place for speculation, though we're inclined to goodness and brightness. This is a kind of abbreviation. It's not that we cry for help. We simply share some of our own experiences and situations of life. It has everything. There's a laughter, sadness, and joy. A couple on the stage, a husband and wife, who are entangled in concepts, have forgotten what makes a proper dance different from their own. And they start the performance. They send SOS signals to each other. This is what draws the audience into this game.
These
are some situations, stories that everyone faces in life. Every person and every spectator finds something for themselves in this performance. Everything is fair because the important feature in contemporary art, in modern dance, is honesty and the present moment.
Я до сих пор не понимаю, мы те, кто придумывает этот спектакль, или те, кто только его исполняет.
There is a problem that the audience does not always understand what contemporary dancers want to convey. This is the difficult part.
Искусство перестает быть искусством, как только наше сознание начинает воспринимать его как искусство.
In the opinion of the artist, the text helped to convey the meaning and the most important task of the dance performance to the audience. This varied speech is difficult for a dancer, but we reveal this text, and all the time we're looking for some deep message and presentation to the audience in it.
Я предлагаю, чтобы каждый взял свой мобильный телефон и написал этому человеку одно простое сообщение.
Both in drama and in dance, it is important to find contact with the audience. That is not easy. Alina and Vyacheslav Buchok succeeded in that.
Готовы? Отправляем. Полетели.
We work there with the audience as if in real time. It is quite difficult, but very important, because otherwise it all really loses its meaning. It is felt when there is a contact. At this moment, the only thing that always saves, of course, is laughter. The panorama of the best dance performances introduces the Ukrainian audience to the European type of plastic thinking and trance. Experienced masters of choreography, in addition to performances, gladly participate in masterclasses for all fans of modern dance. The foreign artists are equally interested and willing to explore Ukraine and its spiritual world.
Thank you so much, because already being here for us is a beautiful opportunity. Part of doing this work was to share with us what we wanted to do, but also get these moments when you meet other people and you also learn. And I think traveling is the best way.
Whether Crimea is Ukraine or Russia. I think from Europe, from my experience of being 2 days here, from Europe it's very large. We are touring a lot at the moment, is mainly in Western Europe, and also we've started outside Europe, like Chile, for example, or USA next year. We have been before in
Igor Urzilai and Morena Solinas are a duet of artists permanently residing in London. It is interesting that they're not British. One of them is Italian, the other is a Spaniard. Igor and Morena brought a surprisingly positive production in the folklore traditions of Sardinia and the Basque region to Ukraine, idiosyncrasy. Their goal is to pay attention to what everyone already possesses, the body and the voice.
with a connection between performers and audience. There's a very direct connection that we're exploring. And we're exploring also the convention of being in a theater, so the fact that people gather and what we can do with the fact that
empowered. Like in one word, we're going to be empowered, and that this moment together becomes something special.
Igor and Morena try to convey a feeling of happiness through song and dance.
Folk and traditional dance and singing of our countries, and explore about dance as a very old thing and at the same time very contemporary, as a way to look at alternatives to move forward.
British dancers, like many artists devoted to art, are convinced that the theater serves as a venue that can unite and change the world, and their ultimate goal is to achieve catharsis among the audience in their live performances. We are now expanding our dance boundaries. We invite foreign dancers and choreographers to work with Ukrainian dancers, and they give an impetus for some collaboration projects in the future. At first glance, there is nothing very complex in this dance, but apparent simplicity is deceptive. After all, it is not only movement, whirling and jumping. And now I have invited two composers to this great work. They will work in a live mode, use the sounds of the city and various non-musical instruments. This is a mixture of electronic music and a recording of live instruments, voices. Annihilation is a multifaceted term that comes from physics. In the performance, the phenomenon of annihilation symbolizes deeper meanings. For me, annihilation is a change. While working, I look for new sensations in myself. And how can I express this or that image? How can I reincarnate or be like an animal? Just a stone, or a camera, for example, or just a chest or a floor. Initially, it was about the transformation of a person within society and the events that happened to them. But during the course of work, we found so many parallels that we had to put these parallels in the performance. The concept of the creators is global. Everything is interconnected in the world. Nothing disappears. Indeed, the world is transforming from one to another. I think it will be interesting for viewers. In the end, there will always remain an eternal question. In his solo, Yaroslav Kainar goes into a special state of mind, absolutely sensitive to impulses from the outside. He sent an impulse to everyone in the auditorium, and everyone had to feel themselves in this expressive dance. You are like a ray that burns and gives off its energy and its idea, so that later in return you get the idea and the thoughts that are flying into space. This is what exchange is about. What is it like? 21st century dance, modern and avant-garde, understandable and deep, sincere and honest. On this basis, Ukrainian and Polish choreographers try to create a joint creative context. Our dancers from Poland meet people who are interested in modern dance. We do this in all countries to meet with colleagues, young people, adult dancers, and choreographers as well, so that there is an exchange. An outstanding Polish dancer and teacher Janka Rudzka, as far back as the 1950s, united dancers from Poland and Brazil in an original choreography to create intercultural dialogue.
One of the most important ideas of our project is an idea of being in a travel. This project is actually all about traveling. We travel.
The beginning, which inspired the creation of a joint performance, was the musical tradition of the Caucasus, the concept of polyphony. Polyphony is a metaphor of the identity of peoples. It coexists in a multitude of voices, and such seemingly distant dance worlds unite with each other.
We have a feeling that the contemporary art field, and especially contemporary choreography, is one of the most colorful, beautiful, multinational territories, which is widening with almost every next step.
Here is the music. They just give you some small idea, and then you feel what comes out of you. But it is very nice. And I always cannot speak about such things without heavy emotions. Emotional Georgia. Yes, and I want to thank them for everything. Representatives of several countries at once, Poland, Brazil, Georgia and Armenia, met on the Moscow stage of the Young Theater. I will say that it was very interesting to work with others. When you watch them dancing your folk dance and enjoying it, it's very, very pleasant.
Despite many obvious differences between hot Brazilian samba and Polish oberek and Georgian and Armenian very strong fire dances, we started to discover a lot of similarities, and on that level we already discovered that we are actually all one family.
In the project Polyphony, besides 4 represented cultural layers, the authors conveyed a message about the dance, which is capable of uniting all people like nothing else. No need for words here, it's simply to be together. It's necessary to cultivate tastes and understanding of drama, but also not to turn contemporary into pop culture. The experienced Polish director Sławek Krawczynski underscored. Not everything should be massive, not everything should be very popular, but everything should make sense, because here we're learning from each other by studying different aspects of human existence. Relations with the Ukrainian dancers, choreographers, and the modern dance community really began several years ago, and all project participants are happy to have the opportunity to come to Kiev. And not only to Kiev, since we also visited Dnipro. Georges Bataille, a French philosopher, the founder of postmodernism, was engaged in the study and understanding of the irrational aspects of social life. His ideas, for example, on the temptation of evil are still alive. Modern Polish choreographers have found an extraordinary artistic form for their realization. Our goal was to grasp the most important threads of meaning in the text of Georges Bataille, his thinking, which continues to thrive in Europe. These thoughts, though written in the last century, overlap with our reality. 6 dancers challenge the audience and themselves, referring to the world of Georges Bataille. He leads everyone there, where stormy emotions merge into one. Eroticism, of course, is an important element of this performance, because Bataille was a thinker who focused enough on this phenomenon. The dance clearly expresses the subtle, dramatic nature of Bataille's thoughts and tries to answer the key question, can we be reborn? But at the same time, it is worth paying attention to the fact that erotic relationships are part of a certain energy, which in the case of people we can observe under a lens. It can be said that if these impulses find their own embodiment and harmony, then the whole world will be calmed. According to Sławek Krawczynski, art can calm and unite the world and make it better, faster and more effective than politics, even more so, violence or war. We must determine where the impulse that generates so much destruction comes from. Still, it seems to me that not politics, but art brought more good to the world. Joint creative projects are necessary both for the artists themselves and for the audience in different countries. After all, art helps people understand each other more deeply. I look forward to meeting with a new audience, and I'm waiting for performances in new places, because it is part of our creativity. We want to share art with other people and ask them, Do they understand whether our work interests them?
Czy rozumieją, czy się dogadujemy, czy ich to interesuje, czy ich to
It turns out that we also must make certain efforts, intellectual, sometimes physical, in order to find mutual understanding with other viewers. It is difficult but very significant, because it also develops us.
Bo to nas też rozwija.
In Ukraine, modern dance sounds more and more like a self-sufficient kind of plastic art. Openness and willingness to communicate with European colleagues gave the national choreography a powerful incentive to create and give birth to new forms.